Hey everyone, welcome to the rewrite. A couple of notes before we get started. Number one, this rewrite will be a continuation of the continuity of my previous rewrites. So my Transformers 2007, Revenge of the Fallen, and Dark of the Moon rewrites are all considered canon in the context of this rewrite. With that being said, number two, since this will be a continuation of the storyline I've been building across the rewrites, there are going to be events from previous rewrites that are referenced in this video, as well as payoffs to things that were set up in previous rewrite videos. So if you haven't seen those previous rewrite videos, I'll have links down in the pinned comment. Finally, number three, as always, just a reminder that this is just a fun creative writing experiment, and it's just a way for me to engage creatively with a project that I love. It's not meant to be a way for me to say that I'm better than the creatives who made the original film, just a fun project for me. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. In the original Age of Extinction, Optimus has no opening narration, so we are going to add one. Earth. Once many of my kind called it home. I was among them. But now we are being hunted. And humans are helping. After all we have sacrificed, my Autobots are scattered, waiting, hiding, hoping for a way home. We cut to a junkyard. The yard is deserted, especially at night. A McLaren slowly navigates through the piles of junk cars. The car turns a corner and finds a much nicer-looking Hummer search and rescue vehicle sitting among the piles of junk. The McLaren transforms into Smokescreen, who will look similar to his counterpart in the Transformers Prime series. He will converse with the Hummer in a similar scene to when Raph and Bumblebee confront Ratchet in the junkyard. Ratchet, there you are. Ratchet? Go away, Smokescreen. You're interrupting me. You shouldn't be here anyways. But I need your help. I will be of no help to you. Everything that's happened since we've arrived on this planet is evidence enough for that. So you're giving up? Right now? When we're being hunted by the humans? Ratchet transforms. Then tell me what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'll ask Jazz, or RC, or Chromia, or Lita, or Ironhide, Skids, Mudflap, Wheeljack, Jolt. Smokescreen is silent. You need to go. We both have to relocate now. There's no way that Hunter is tracking us. No sense in taking any chances. Between the humans and the Hunter, it's a miracle we aren't both scrap metal at this point. If you want to survive, don't stay with me. Find your own path. No, we head for the rendezvous coordinates. We can rebuild the team and we can't. Without Optimus, resources, or a plan, there is no hope. None of us know that Optimus is dead. No one has heard from him since the Mexico City raid 2 years ago. I've given up hope. We fought for humanity. And look where that got us. Please, Smokescreen, just let me rest in peace. Ratchet transforms back into his vehicle mode. Smokescreen transforms and drives away, disappointed. At dawn, Ratchet leaves the junkyard to relocate, having given Smokescreen enough time to go his own way. He takes extra care to ensure his tracks are difficult to follow. We linger on a shot of the area in the junkyard where Ratchet was sitting. It remains undisturbed throughout the entire day. As night begins to fall, the sound of metal footsteps echoes through the junkyard, along with the sound of mechanical breathing. We only see the shadow of this mysterious hunter, before he transforms and moves in the general direction that Ratchet went. We cut to a few states away. Cade Yeager is in his barn, tinkering with a tractor. His farmhand, Lucas, drives up and walks into the barn. Hey, kid. Still working on the tractor, huh? Yeah, I think I got it this time. He finishes tightening a bolt, then has Lucas turn it over. He tries it. The tractor turns over, but isn't able to move. Oh, that's one problem solved, and another created. The tractor then sputters out. Make that don't even. He gets cleaned up and tells Lucas how this day would get better if Tessa gets good news about her scholarship. Meanwhile, Tessa's friends drop her off and she grabs the mail. Cade sees her walk into the barn with a disappointed look. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, Dad. The two hug, but Cade can tell Tessa is disappointed. Did you get the news? She hands him the paper. Hey, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Whatever. I'll be here forever, just like you've always wanted. There was an awkward silence between the two of them. Lucas has remained near the tractor, taking a look at it. Hey, Cade, I think I figured out the problem. Turning mechanism is putting stress on the engine. That's why it keeps sputtering out. Where are we going to get that? This model's discontinued. Wait, there's some sort of car sale later today. I heard about it at school. I doubt they'd have something there, but it's worth a look. As the trio prepares to head over, we get a scene of Harold Attinger giving an update to the rest of Cemetery Wind, detailing how the Cybertronian hunt is progressing well. This scene is shot similar to the scene from the original movie. Sir, is there any update on the whereabouts of the Autobot leader? None at this time. Our special forces picked up a new lead in a junkyard this morning, with hope that will provide more insight on Optimus Prime. Until he is found, though, what is the plan? Finding Prime is the plan. There is no greater threat to our national security than the Cybertronians. We will eliminate their leader and destroy their morale. Rest assured, gentlemen.
The age of the Transformers is over.
There is a quick scene of Ratchet finding a new hiding place. He climbs onto a derelict ship and hides in one of the smokestacks. On the other side of the dockyard stands a familiar shadow, the same one that was in the junkyard. The shadow activates a transponder. Bring in your forces. The Autobot thinks it is safe. Back in Texas, Cade, Lucas, and Tessa park at the car sale. After walking around for a few minutes and speaking with the men hosting, Lucas pulls Cade aside. Okay, I was not expecting these prices. It'll be fine. You're already running in the red, Cade. Yeah, but here's my idea. Get something that has a functioning mechanism. Take that and repair the tractor in time for harvest season. That solves the money problem immediately. Then I can scrap the rest of the car for parts and make some extra cash. Better make sure that mechanism works first, though. Cade is about to say something when he spots Tessa on the other side of the lot, talking to a boy. One sec. Cade storms over. Lucas looks where he's going. Oh, that's why she wanted to come. Cade walks up to Tessa and the boy. Tessa, what did we talk about? He's just saying hi, Dad. Hey, sir, I'm Shane. I know Tessa from school. Cade immediately flips into interrogation mode. How old are you? And why don't I see you around? Dad? 18, sir. And I tend to do work on my grandpa's farm when I'm not in school. Which farm? The big one next to the two water towers. You're Scott McCord's grandson. Shane gets excited, thinking he finally found a way in. Yeah, you know him? Yeah, I do. I don't like him. Come on, Tessa. Cade leads Tessa away. Tessa tries to protest, but knows it won't change Cade's mind. Lucas comes over and tells Cade he found something interesting. Off to the side of the lot, sitting there as if it was just an afterthought, is a beat-up truck riddled with bullet holes. Cade opens the door and shells fall out of it. Cade checks and sees the turning mechanism he is looking for is intact. Hey, how much for the truck?
Truck?
At this point, we move to Chicago. In front of a building for KSI, Kinetic Solutions Incorporated, Joshua Joyce parks and is escorted into the building. He is briefed on usual business until he meets an old friend in the hallway, Harold Attinger. Attinger tells him that new material is likely on its way soon. Your special force that you won't tell me about has a new lead. Look, it's Prime. Optimus Prime. He'll be the perfect template for the new line of Transformers. I would like to request a tour. See what you've accomplished since I last visited. Certainly. This way, please. Attinger is toured around. He is introduced to the Cybertronian metal, cybermatter. No, we will not be calling it transformium. Cybermatter makes more sense in the canon of Transformers. Oddly enough, a rare earth metal. No industrial applications. But then, the aliens came, and we learned it's what they're made of. Not so rare anymore. Keeps showing up at earthquake sites. Which is exactly why it's safer to harvest it from the older models. Then we can make our own, and we can make them better. Cybertronian technology mixed with human intellect. What a combination. The pair enters the main room, and this is our crown jewel. Before Attinger is the severed head of Megatron, as well as his Spark. His head and Spark have dozens of wires stuck into it, all feeding into computers that analysts are using to decode anything they can get out of the brain. Turns out the aliens still have their memories so long as their core remains intact. Everything we've learned has been from him. They enter another room to find a transformer being slowly assembled, all to make Galvatron. So what do you think? Ettinger is silent for a few moments before smiling. I think this is one of the best deals I've ever made. We cut back to the farm. Cade has the truck delivered into the barn. He and Lucas start examining it, while Tessa tries to talk to her dad. Dad, you know I can't be a little girl forever, right? Tessa, you're 18. You've barely started your life. You shouldn't be trying to date right now. Maybe my life won't start because you keep suffocating me. She storms out. Cade, she's right. Just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean it's a universal truth. When it comes to dating, she's more like me than she realizes. I'll talk to her later. Right now, I want to get this done. The two get to work on getting the broken mechanism out of the tractor so they can replace it. We cut back to the shipyard. A group of SUVs drive up. Cemetery Wind soldiers hop out and establish a perimeter. James Savoy, the unit's commander, steps out of his vehicle. We're in position. The hunter emerges from the water and hides in the reeds nearby. As am I. Proceed. While Cemetery Wind searches through the docks, the hunter is analyzing from a distance. This isn't prime. The dock is too small. Not enough hiding places. Where would one of the smaller ones hide? He looks around, spotting the ship. Savoy, get Energon readers on that ship. Check the smokestacks first. Cemetery Wind confirms via an Energon reading that there is an Autobot hiding in one of the smokestacks. The raid plays out the same as the original film. Cemetery Wind bombards Ratchet, who tries to flee. As the medic gets out in the open, the hunter transforms his head into a gun and shoots Ratchet's leg off. Ratchet then gets surrounded. No, please, hold your fire. I am no threat to you. Why are you running then? Optimus sent this distress message.
Calling all Autobots. We are under targeted attack. Cease all contact with humans.
You're invaders on this planet, and you've brought destruction to our homes. Even you good guy bots. You Autobots willingly harbored Sentinel Prime. It was Megatron who convinced him to betray. Doesn't matter. Optimus revived him. I lost my sister in Chicago because of that. Your kind gets no sympathy from me. I am sorry for your sister. We are trying to go home and leave you in peace. If you let me go, I promise on the Allspark you will never see me again. There is a hunter on my trail. If he finds me, you will not be spared either. If I were you, I wouldn't swear on a destroyed alien relic. The hunter shoots Ratchet again, and Cemetery Wind follows suit, subduing the Autobot medic. The hunter walks up. He's mine now. Ratchet looks up with fear, realizing he was not being hunted by two separate forces, but one. The hunter. Autobots, Decepticons, like little children, always fighting, making a mess of the universe. Your time is over, medic. But I will honor your request to be let go, if you tell me where he's hiding. Where is Optimus Prime? If I knew, I wouldn't tell you. The hunter digs his spark extractor into Ratchet's chest and pulls out the medic's spark. So be it. Lockdown then transforms and drives away. Cemetery Wind makes a call, and a KSI truck comes to haul Ratchet's remains off. The next evening, Cade and Lucas have the tractor part out, and it is ready to be replaced. Tessa walks back in with sandwiches. You guys forgot to eat dinner. Cade and Lucas thank her and eat sandwiches with her. So, Dad, Tessa, I don't think we should talk about Shane right now. He might have asked me to prom at school earlier today. Not happening. Tessa, before you respond, I've known you since you were 3. I'm basically your uncle. Listen to what he has to say. And Cade, listen to what she has to say. Cade leads her to a photo on the wall of the barn. It shows a younger Cade, his deceased wife in a hospital gown, and a newborn Tessa. You never asked me when this photo was from. It was 9 months after prom. I don't want you to date because I don't want you to make that kind of life-altering decision at such a young age. Shane's not that kind of guy. Yes, he is. Because based on what I saw when I spoke to him, he's me. Cade walks over to the truck and prepares to hook it up to a working battery, convinced the conversation is over. Just because that was your experience doesn't mean it will be mine. It could... He pauses, seeing Lucas's face, remembering what he said earlier about listening. It's true you could be fine, but it's my job to protect you. You're not even listening to me. All I'm asking for is 1 4-hour school dance. If you got to know Shane better than... Tessa, you're not going with a boy. Cade hooks up the battery as he says this. The engine sputters and they hear a voice. It's one of them. Evacuate! The truck transforms into Optimus Prime. He pulls out his cannon and points it at the 3 terrified humans. No, stay back! It's okay. We're not going to hurt you. My name is Cade Yeager. This is my daughter Tessa and my farmhand Lucas. Optimus slowly lowers his cannon, but he remains on edge. My Autobots, they're in danger. He tries to get up, but parts of him fall off and he starts bleeding energon. I need to go now. My Autobots can repair me. If you can reach them. Cade picks up the side of Optimus's helmet. What about me? Dad, he's a robot. How are you going to repair him? I may not know how to fix a robot, but I know how to fix a truck. Optimus stares at him for a few moments. Cade Yeager, I am in your debt. We cut to the Arctic. A helicopter flies and meets a large Cybertronian ship. The design of this ship is unlike anything seen before. It is certainly made of cybermatter, but it does not look anything like the spacecraft the Autobots or Decepticons used. Attinger exits the helicopter as the Hunter joins him on deck. So, any leads? Scrubbed all the memories from the medic's spark. Last time he saw Prime was the Mexico City raid. That's the second one this year. I'm growing impatient. I would be careful. You came to me when I first made Planetfall. You're the one who needs my help, Mr. Attinger of Earth. That's because on this planet we have a saying. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I also have a saying. I don't care. I didn't make the trek out here to not get any information. You came uninvited. When I know more, you'll know more. And I trust you will do the same. You know, you never told me. Why do you want him? Who are you working for? That information is need to know. You humans. You think you're the center of the universe. You have no idea. The Hunter walks back into his ship. Cade, Lucas, and Tessa leave the barn to go get more supplies. Are we sure it's a good idea to just leave him here? What if he eats something? Or one of us? Look, we call the government, we get a reward. I don't believe those posters. He'll be fine. Inside the barn, over the course of a few hours, Optimus has slowly repaired his comlink. He sets it to an emergency Autobot frequency. Optimus Prime to all units. Does anyone copy? Optimus is worried. No response is not unexpected, but now he is worried going into stasis to survive may have caused him to emerge as the only Autobot left. An hour later, Optimus tries again. Optimus Prime to all Autobots. Is anyone out there? Static ensues, but then another voice is heard. Hello, Optimus? Smokescreen, it is good to hear your voice. We will have to keep things brief. I took a tremendous yet calculated risk in using this frequency. Okay, I'm in Louisiana right now. Should I meet up with you? Is anyone else with you? No. I saw Ratchet a few days ago. He said we should stay separate. I don't know his status. Ratchet is being cautious. I am glad. But yes, Smokescreen, it is time for us to rendezvous. When you're ready, I will give you my coordinates. As Optimus hangs up, the trio gets back from the hardware store. Cade gets to work on Optimus. Tessa stays close by, but Lucas goes home, saying he needs to sleep before he sees the giant robot in the barn again. Cade, why are you willing to help me? Cade is silent for a few moments. Because I've heard the stories. Battle for the Allspark, Egypt, Chicago, all these things about the alien invaders. I guess I just want to know if you're actually as bad as people say you are. Or if you're like us. He gestures to him and Tessa. Living beings just trying to survive. Elsewhere, Attinger hangs up his phone and walks over to Savoy. Prepare everyone. I just got a new lead. Attinger then pulls out an alien transponder and says the same thing. Cemetery Wind begins moving towards the location Attinger supplied, Texas. The next morning, Tessa is sitting on the porch when Lucas drives up. As he tries to park, his steering looks odd and he parks crooked. Lucas walks up. Hey, Tessa. Kid's still in the barn? Yeah, I tried to get him to sleep, but he's been working on Optimus all night. What's up with your car? I have no idea. Steering is stiff. I was fighting it the whole way here. When we solve one car problem, another one pops up. The two of them start to walk over to the barn. Do you think I'm being unreasonable? About Shane? No. I've known your dad a long time. He wants to make sure you're safe. I know that. I just feel so suffocated. You've told him that. Have you ever shown him that? Tessa is quiet. They then get to the barn. As they enter, Optimus is telling Cade about Cybertronian history. And this is the spark. It contains our life force. And our memories. Yeah, we call it a soul. So, could one of your kind return from the dead if the spark stays intact? Yes, technically. But a tremendous amount of energy is required. It happened to me and to Sentinel. Optimus lowers his gaze, his face filled with guilt. Before anyone can respond, the sound of several cars is heard on the outskirts of the farm. They have found me. Go. I will not have you die because of me. I'm not abandoning my home. I'm gonna go sort this out. You hide. Lucas and Tessa follow Cade outside, protesting. After they leave, Optimus finds a section of the barn that is out of the way. He hides there and does his best to make it look like there's storage bins in the corner. Cade, remember, if they find him, we get a reward. I'm not gonna just turn him over. Despite what the media told us, he's not a monster. As the trio gets outside, Cemetery Wind cars drive up to the front of the house. Savoy and his men exit. A ways away, by a nearby baseball field, the hunter transforms and climbs up a grain silo, drawing the attention of the baseball players and onlookers. Good morning. I don't mean to interject. I'm James Savoy, field team leader for a government task force. Me and my men have been tracking down a abandoned truck. Does that sound familiar to you? I'm afraid it doesn't. Now, if that's all, we'd like to get back to work. Have a good day, sir. Cade turns away, but sees Savoy start walking towards him. Sir, we received a report about your property having the truck we're looking for. Caller gave your exact address. You're not searching my property without a warrant. All these people thinking warrants will protect them. This truck is a matter of national security, Mr. Yeager. You think we would have let 9/11 happen if we knew but didn't have a warrant? Cemetery Wind soldiers begin moving through the property. Now, Mr. Yeager, I want to believe you. I really do. But if you had nothing to hide, you wouldn't be asking about a warrant. Alright, fine. We bought the truck because it had parts we needed to repair a tractor. Brought it here, repaired the tractor in time for harvest, then go to bed. Next morning, I go to the barn, truck's gone. When? Where? No idea. That's as much as I know about him. Cade turns to walk away. Savoy takes his sunglasses off and walks up to Cade. You just said him. Cade's terrified expression gives Savoy all the confirmation he needs. Arrest them all. The scene with Cemetery Wind interrogating Cade and threatening Tessa while Optimus hides in the barn will remain the same. As Savoy gives the order to shoot Tessa, Optimus bursts out of the barn shouting. He tells Cade, Tessa, and Lucas to run. They all run to Lucas's car and flee, just as the hunter fires a series of missiles that destroys the house and the barn. Optimus drives off in another direction to draw Cemetery Wind away. Lucas drives through the farms and back roads to give some of them the slip. Guys, I'm really sorry. I didn't want you two to get hurt, so I called and left a tip.
What? They said they were going to bring a check, okay? I didn't know they were going to send a death squad.
Once they get into town, Lucas is going too fast and almost hits another car. He is forced to slow down. As Cemetery Wind gains on them, they see they are in the line of fire. Suddenly, the car's steering wheel begins to move on its own. Don't worry, bud. I'll take it from here.
What the f...
He is cut off by the sound of a Cemetery Wind minigun firing at them. Hey humans, the name is Smokescreen. From here, the scene remains mostly the same. The car drives through the bingo place and the garage, but now the reckless actions are because of Smokescreen and not Shane like the original film. At the same time, Optimus and the Hunter engage in hand-to-hand combat. Optimus is able to get the upper hand and subdue him, but he takes a beating in the process. Even for a Prime, This hunter is a tough opponent. Optimus meets up with Smokescreen and the humans after they land the jump from the garage. Let me out. I think I'm gonna puke. He gets out, and Smokescreen drives over to Optimus, leaving Lucas alone. He ejects Cade and Tessa and transforms. What do you think, Optimus? I changed vehicle modes to blend in better. Well done, Smokescreen. Lucas calls from the other side of the lot. Hey, speaking of which, where is my actual car? Smokescreen thinks back to when he took the car out of the garage and put it in a ditch the night before.
It's safe.
Cade then spots the hunter on the roof above. Lucas, run! The hunter throws a grenade. It detonates, and the wave catches up to Lucas, eviscerating him. Cade and Tessa stand there horrified. Smokescreen fires a few shots at the hunter, while Optimus transforms, grabs Cade and Tessa, and the two Autobots flee. Cade and Tessa hug each other as Optimus drives. Eventually, they all reach an abandoned gas station. Optimus lets them out and transforms. Smokescreen stands a short distance away, also stunned at what happened to Lucas. My deepest sympathies for the loss of your friend and your home. I am going to double back to make sure we were not followed. I will come back and get you at dawn. We are all targets now. He walks over to Smokescreen. Smokescreen, drive ahead to the rendezvous coordinates. Send out a message on emergency frequency 2007. All remaining Autobots are to meet there. I won't let you down, Optimus. The two transform and drive in their respective directions. Cade and Tessa walk into the gas station. Cade and Tessa sit in the gas station silently. Cade starts futzing with some of the wires in the old machines, doing anything he can to get his mind off Lucas. I'm sorry you had to go through all this, Tessa. You just need to listen. You're not always right, Dad. All you had to do was turn Optimus over, but now Lucas is dead. She goes outside, leaving Cade alone. Optimus returns the next morning, picks up Cade and Tessa, then drives in the same direction Smokescreen did the day before. On the way, he scans a passing truck and gets his new vehicle mode. We then get a similar arrival scene to the original film. As Optimus drives by, Hound stands on the rocks.
Oh yeah. Yeah! He's back! He's alive! Optimus is here!
A little ways away, Roadbuster looks up to see Optimus. He taps another Autobot on the shoulder. Sideswipe, look! Sideswipe's face lightens up. So it's true. Then there's hope after all. Sideswipe jumps and uses his wheels to ski down the cliffside. Roadbuster climbs down after him. As Optimus drives up and parks, Smokescreen runs alongside him. What do you think, Optimus? Managed to get a crew together? Sideswipe rolls up beside him. We got your warning. We've been waiting. Oh yeah, boom time. We got the gang back together. Haha, time to kick tailpipe. Bumblebee transforms and walks over the hill. Optimus lets Cade and Tessa out and transforms. Humans have asked us to play by their rules.
Well, the rules have just changed.
Humans, bunch of backstabbing weasels. Hey, I don't think they're that bad, Hound. The emo military guys, yeah, but look, these two are fine. He points to Cade and Tessa. Roadbuster and Sideswipe look down and see the two humans. Whoa! They both draw their guns. Hey, what's with the guns? Hound also pulls out his gun before Optimus stops them. Stop, Hound, all of you. They've risked their lives for mine. We owe them. At this point, I'm going to take a quick break to talk about the Autobot cast for this movie. Obviously, you'll note there's a few changes. So first off, clearly yes, Drift and Crosshairs are not in this rewrite. They have instead been replaced by Smokescreen and Roadbuster, respectively. Other channels have gone into detail about why some characters like Drift and Crosshairs don't really work, so I'm not going to repeat them here. Instead, I'm going to talk about why I wanted to include Smokescreen and Roadbuster as their replacements. So for Smokescreen, I wanted to include him so that he kind of had a sense of naivety. Obviously, people like Optimus, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Sideswipe, Roadbuster, they're all people who have survived things like the Battle of Chicago, and they have been on this planet since humanity betrayed them and started hunting them. Smokescreen, being a later arrival, is a little bit more optimistic, and I think that personality would function really well as an opposite to some of the more jaded people like Sideswipe and Roadbuster. Speaking of Roadbuster, I want Roadbuster to be one of those jaded surviving Autobots. We kind of got a little bit of that with Crosshairs in the original film, but I think it works a lot better with a returning character being the one who is jaded. On top of that, the Wreckers are, in my opinion, a really underexplored aspect of Transformers lore. Transformers Prime goes into detail with them a little bit, but they are severely neglected in the Bayverse, and I think it'd be really cool to have a Wrecker carry on past Dark of the Moon. I'm also going to quickly note, I know in Dark of the Moon, Roadbuster has a Scottish accent. I will not be repeating that for this rewrite. It is not because I have something against the actor. It is because I, and probably you, don't want to hear me try and imitate a Scottish accent for the next hour. Obviously, Optimus, Bumblebee, and Hound were all in the original Age of Extinction. They'll be staying here. I've kept Hound because I think Hound is actually the most interesting of the new Autobots from the original film. And then finally, you will also note there is a sixth Autobot present, Sideswipe. I am not a fan of the fact that Sideswipe just disappears from the films after Dark of the Moon. He is also, at least according to like the line of succession, he is now the first lieutenant of the Autobots. After Jazz was killed in 2007, it passed to Ironhide, and then Ironhide was killed in Dark of the Moon. And then it seemingly passed to Sideswipe. So I think he's someone who should definitely be here. Anyways, with all that out of the way, I've explained my choice for the Autobot cast, so let's get back into it. As the Autobots reconvene, there is a quick scene of Joyce inside KSI. He gets a call from Attinger, saying Optimus got away. Joyce is frustrated and tells the engineers to work double time on finishing Galvatron. He starts to walk away, but then stops. He turns back to look at Galvatron's face. He could have sworn he saw the eyes faintly glow purple. After staring for a few moments, he brushes the thought aside and walks away. Optimus and the rest of the Autobots all stand around a campfire, learning what happened to each of them. We come into the scene with Optimus recounting his story. Then I confirmed the hunter had retreated, so I moved this way to reconvene with all of you. Smokescreen, you mentioned seeing Ratchet a few days ago. Sideswipe, Roadbuster, and Bumblebee all look up, hopeful. I did. He was despairing. I tried to get him to come with me, but he wanted to stay on his own. He lowers his eyes. I hope he's okay. I've been worried about him since. So there's been no sign of any others. No, we are all that's left. They're picking us off one by one, breaking up any groups that form and hunting them individually. Roadbuster gets up and leaves. After a few moments, so does Sideswipe. Hound leaves to talk to Roadbuster. Roadbuster, haven't seen you in a long time. No, you haven't. Doesn't help you went elsewhere before Cybertron fell. I was never part of the Wreckers, Roadbuster. The Commandos were adjacent at best. We got pulled off to try and destroy Shockwave's lab network. Nothing I could have done. Even still, the bots you shared war stories with are gone. Only ones confirmed as MIA are Ultra Magnus and Bulkhead, but no one's seen them since the exodus from Cybertron. For all I know, I'm the only Wrecker left. Topspin, Leadfoot, Sea Spray, Hotshot, Breakdown, Impactor, Broadside, all dust. And where were you, Hound? Roadbuster turns away. Hound is silent, then he walks away. Optimus and Bumblebee stand near the fire. Cade and Tessa are there to listen in. Bumblebee, are they? Sam and Michaela are safe. I made sure they were hidden before leaving them. Optimus is relieved to hear some of his human friends are okay for the moment. I am afraid, old friend. It is my fault we are even on this planet to begin with. I do not know how to get us home. I must confess, B. I fear we will never see Cybertron restored. There's still hope, Optimus. Shockwave could come through any day now. I hope that is the case, but I will not hang the fate of our kind on that. Optimus walks over to Sideswipe, who is staring out into the horizon. I tried to save him, Optimus. Do you know, and I had evaded Cemetery Wind for years. Then that hunter found us. Do you know, and I split up on the outskirts of Miami to throw him off the trail. All I know is that I heard his screams before I even made it past the city limits. Do you know it was a brave soldier, Sideswipe? He fought to the bitter end, and gave you the chance to make things right. Oh, I will, Optimus. When I find that piece of scrap metal, I'm gonna tear him limb from limb. Also, as a quick note, I had originally wanted Dino to be a part of the Age of Extinction cast, but I ultimately decided against it for the same reason that Michael Bay and the creative team decided to retire his character. If you didn't know, the voice actor for Dino sadly passed away shortly after the release of Dark of the Moon, and out of respect for him, they decided to retire the character, so that's why Dino is not appearing in this rewrite. Upon hearing what Sideswipe said, Optimus then sees the rest of the Autobots walking over. He feels the burden of leadership, knowing the Autobots look to him as their source of strength. Autobots, there is someone hunting us. I do not recognize him or his technology, and humans are helping him. We need to know why. It's to try and protect us. All the Autobots turn to look at him. After Chicago, most of the world, but especially our government, felt it was necessary to develop a defense system should the Decepticons ever return. I informed them of the peace deal made with Megatron. With all due respect, Optimus, our government isn't one to see a warlord sue for peace and believe him at his word. So some company called KSI was brought in to salvage the alien tech in the city and produce countermeasures. You're saying the Hunter is their drone? He's way too advanced to be a human construct. No offense, guys. Then we must go to KSI and find out what part they have to play in all this. Cade volunteers to help. Tessa is resistant, but Cade tells her they'll never get their life back so long as the government has them marked. Autobots, I once vowed to protect humanity. Big mistake, but now that they're exterminating us, all bets are off. The Autobots mobilize and make their way towards Chicago, and towards KSI. Attinger meets with Savoy and the remains of Cemetery Wind. Attinger is frustrated they allowed Optimus Prime to get away, and that Smokescreen managed to sit right in front of them. Perhaps I need to reconsider this unit's combat effectiveness. Not if one failed mission, sir. I will personally ensure the exception does not become the rule. The two look up as the wind kicks up around them. The Hunter's ship arrives over them. The Cemetery Wind soldiers look up as the Hunter jumps from the ship and lands. Anything? Trail went cold. It would be easy for me to blame this failed hunt on you, but I am here for another reason. I must show you something. A dropship flies down, and the Hunter prompts Attinger and Savoy to climb on board. The Hunter leads them to the ship, then through the ship to a containment center. Great creations of my masters. Attinger and Savoy stare into the cages, seeing huge robots hanging there. You had these the whole time, and you didn't use them? You insisted on minimal human casualties. Unchaining them would have done the opposite. But now, I have reason to believe the Autobots have reunited. So you're going to release them? Indeed. And you will be okay with it. I most certainly will not. An increased security threat from the Autobots does not mean human life is worth less. You want your world to be safe from them. You can't take them down when they're together. They're going on the offensive. This is a battle of titans now. Savoy takes Attinger aside. If we let him do this, what's to stop him from just using them on us? Nothing. But he's right. Our national security is once again in the hands of the aliens. Then we better visit Joyce. Attinger tells the Hunter he is okay with releasing the robots. The two humans leave. Outside of KSI headquarters in Chicago, Cade and Tessa are performing recon with Bumblebee. A ways away are the rest of the Autobots, watching through cameras to see what is going on. Alright, so we're gonna have to find some way of getting in there. Find something to blackmail this company and the government. I vote we just drive through the front door. Who cares about subterfuge? Optimus looks at him to calm him down. Alright, we're on our way back. Signing off. After they hang up, all the Autobots besides Bumblebee are standing in the building. Optimus, Roadbuster may be right. The longer we wait, the worse this is gonna get. As much as I hate to do this, yes, we need to dismantle the whole operation. I ain't complaining. Doesn't that have the potential to hurt the humans working there? We will take caution to ensure no humans are intentionally harmed. Smokescreen stands there, looking disappointed. Cade, Tessa, and Bumblebee return to the building. Cade and Tessa are trying to figure out how to get in without tripping security. I've seen KSI ads saying you can volunteer to have eccentric cars scanned. You could always just try and convince them you're doing that. Too bad I lost my McLaren luck. I need to get that back. I'll do it. Give me 5. I'll go with. 5 minutes later, Sideswipe and Bumblebee return, with Bee sporting a new look. Alright, better get going. Optimus, it's already past midday. Best to go tomorrow. At this moment, time is not our ally, Cade Yeager. And he looks at a clock on the wall. It is only 2 p.m. Cade and Tessa go with Bumblebee to sneak into the building. Sideswipe, you brief Bumblebee on the plan. Yep, he knows they get an hour. Attinger and Savoy drive up to KSI. Joyce meets them and they walk inside. Attinger and Savoy insist they need to see Galvatron immediately. Joyce leads them to the room. I don't understand. I ordered a complete redesign and reassembly. Why does he keep turning out the same? Suddenly, all of Chicago shakes as a minor earthquake moves through the city. That's not normal. No, it was not. The 3 humans and the engineers all stop moving, as they all feel like they just heard a low growl echo through the facility. Joyce turns to look at Galvatron to see if the eyes are glowing. They are not. I will not be sending out Galvatron. Joshua, this is about national security. I understand that, but this is about perfecting the Cybertronian makeup. KSI can and will create the greatest transformers in the known universe. Until I believe they are ready, the drones stay in the lab. I haven't been truthful with you. My special force is a Cybertronian bounty hunter. He intends to release his own special forces. They will wreak havoc on civilian populations to get Optimus Prime. If you want his scan as the perfect template, you need to ensure Galvatron and the others can subdue Prime before my asset does. Joyce leads them away so they can discuss the matter further. Cade, Tessa, and Bumblebee drive up to the line for the scanning entry. While they wait, Cade and Tessa speak. So, I've been thinking about the whole prom thing. Doesn't matter. I'll be in prison before we even go on spring break. No, I'm not going to let that happen. Not while I'm around. But you won't always be around, Dad. Before Cade can respond, they get to the front of the line. After some back and forth, the guards let them through. They drive into an expedition room housing Stinger. The scene of Bumblebee getting insulted by the Vidoc and Bee crashing out will remain the same. After Bumblebee kicks Stinger over, Cade tells Tessa to get Bumblebee out of here, and he sneaks off. Tessa gets in the driver's seat, and what the people coming to investigate see is a teenage girl driving an eccentric Camaro away from Stinger's body, while You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer plays on the radio. Back at the Autobot camp, Optimus walks up to Smokescreen. Smokescreen, something I said has been troubling you. I've just been having a rude awakening. Security detail at Iacon gave me a lot of time to think about what it would be like on the front lines. This just isn't living up to my expectations, I suppose. I understand. It is good to dream big, Smokescreen, but not about war. Well, it wasn't about war. It was about you. Optimus looks at him. All I've ever heard is about how great and compassionate you were, a true leader on and off the battlefield, but now I hear you ordering us to break into the human base. Just not what I thought of when I imagined you. Trust me, Smokescreen. It burdens my spark to have to do this as well. But this is our only chance to end the hunt, once and for all. Cade walks through the facility, finding a lab coat to better disguise himself. He enters a room and sees the remains of Ratchet. He discreetly pulls out a camera and streams the video to the Autobots, just as Tessa and Bumblebee get back. Sideswipe displays the footage, and Smokescreen walks up to watch. His face is filled with sorrow as he sees human workers melting Ratchet's head. No. I knew I shouldn't have left him. Roadbuster picks up a chunk of rubble and throws it, the confirmation of Ratchet's death finally breaking him.
They slaughtered Ratchet! I'm gonna tear them apart!
The Autobots all mobilize and drive straight for KSI. Tessa goes with Bumblebee, worried about what is going to happen. Cade gets spotted with the recording device and is apprehended. He is brought to Joyce, who is talking with Attinger and Savoy. Cade is put in the seat next to Savoy. The security guard hands Joyce Cade's phone. Nice to see you again, Mr. Yeager. I want a lawyer. I'm not trying to steal anything. I'm just trying to protect my family. Not from your company, from the government. He looks at Savoy. Attinger sits across from him. Mr. Yeager, who do you think I work for? Harold, we'll finish our conversation later. You're not in charge anymore, Joyce. You signed the government contract that says we can take control of the drones if we suspect a threat to national security. Do you have reason to suspect that? He's here. Last time anyone saw him, he was with 2 Autobots. He turns back to Cade. Now, Mr. Yeager, there is a version of this conversation where we'll pay for your homestead to be rebuilt. You can go back to your barn. Your daughter graduates with honors and can go to any college she wishes. Life as you know it will go on. What's the other version? You hire a hitman to shoot my little girl like this guy tried to do, then lock me up? It doesn't have to get bloody, Mr. Yeager. We can keep your family and all American families safe once we perfect Cybertronian technology. They're not machines, Mr. Joyce. They feel, just like you and I do. Enough. Mr. Yeager, how the rest of this conversation goes depends on how you answer this question. Where is Optimus Prime? As Cade looks at him, Bumblebee drives outside, brakes and lets Tessa out, then drives straight through the front entrance of KSI. The rest of the Autobots follow suit, and Optimus leads the charge to the main laboratory. I think he's downstairs. Joyce, Attinger, and Savoy all leave the room. Bumblebee climbs up the side of the building and breaks the window, allowing Cade to escape with him. The rest of the Autobots burst into the lab and start trashing it. Not so tough now, huh?
Science fair's over, meatbags. Destroy the lab.
Joyce walks into the lab as the scientists and engineers flee.
Hey! That's company property. They're not your property.
They were my friends.
Hound stands next to Optimus, weapon trained on Joyce. Go ahead, show us your true colors.
Just give me the order, boss.
Optimus motions for him to stand down. What we're doing here is progressing science and technology because we have the opportunity, and we're taking it because you cannot stop technology.
We're not technology. Our races are more alike than they are different.
Really? Our race hasn't fled our homeworld because a civil war destroyed it.
You're angry because of what the Decepticons did to your home. Why take it out on us?
As far as we're aware, the Decepticons were not the ones who brought Sentinel back from the dead. The Autobots did that. You did that, Prime. And then you left the planet and let people in Chicago die so you could prove a point.
We needed Megatron to believe we had gone. He would have killed more of you if we hadn't.
Based on the fact you claim to have made a peace deal with him, he might not have. Which one is it, Optimus? Was Megatron a warlord who would have slaughtered us if you didn't leave? Or was he a tired military commander who wanted the war to end?
Regardless of what Megatron was, you see that as justification to kill us, to perpetuate a cycle of vengeance that will only result in more lives lost.
We're breaking the cycle. Don't you get it? We're making you, so we can protect ourselves from you. If you have a problem with that, you can leave our planet. We don't need you anymore. Optimus glares at him.
This will come crashing down on you, and we will not be there to bail humanity out of their own mistakes again. Autobots, we're done.
The Autobots storm out, leaving Joyce alone in the destroyed lab. Joyce leaves to find Attinger and Savoy. They are in the chamber housing Galvatron, who was unharmed. As the trio heads back to the control room, Attinger insists Galvatron be sent out to intercept them. Joyce reluctantly agrees and gives the order to deploy Galvatron and Stinger. As the order goes out, Attinger pulls out his alien transponder and contacts the Hunter. Around half an hour later, Galvatron and Stinger deploy to intercept the Autobots on the outskirts of Chicago. Just as the Autobots notice the drones, another minor earthquake shakes Chicago. When Galvatron transforms, he will wreck a few cars. Joyce will get concerned. Also, as a quick note, Galvatron and Stinger will transform normally in this rewrite, not in the strange aether tech we see in the film. The humans then program Galvatron to fire missiles at the Autobots. The scene from the original film then remains mostly the same. Galvatron will then give pursuit and fire 4 rockets on his own. Misfire, 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 misfire. System failure, Galvatron just fired 4 rockets. Optimus and Bumblebee make it past the car wreck brought on by the missiles. Bumblebee hands off Cade and Tessa to Optimus so he can help the other Autobots. Bumblebee takes a shot at Galvatron, who dodges, transforms, and rushes after Optimus. Before B can do anything, Stinger tackles him from behind. Bumblebee begins to fight Stinger as the other 4 Autobots close in. Suddenly, 4 drop pods smash into the road, and 4 hulking robots emerge. The audience will realize these are the robots suspended in the Hunter's ship.
Sideswipe, Roadbuster, Hound, and Smokescreen each pick an enemy and try to 1v1 them. Hound stares down his opponent. I reckon I've got enough ammo. He begins to rev his minigun. Boss, go for it, Slug. Hound starts firing his minigun, but the bullets bounce off the hulking figure. Slug walks forward and backhands Hound so hard he flies back and gets embedded in the ground. Autobots, fall back. Focus fire. The other Autobots regroup at Hound, and the four try to stave off their enemies as they charge. Meanwhile, Optimus continues to drive down the road with Cade and Tessa. As Galvatron gains on them, Joyce orders the KSI worker operating Stinger to fall back. No sense in risking damage to the drone now that Galvatron has Optimus isolated. Stinger retreats, freeing up Bumblebee to go help the other Autobots. Galvatron fires rockets, causing Optimus to transform. He sets Cade and Tessa down and readies his battle mask. As the two robots begin to fight, Optimus initially gets the upper hand, until another earthquake moves through the ground. Suddenly, the Galvatron bot begins moving more promptly, as if it is no longer being piloted and is now moving on its own. Galvatron starts pushing Optimus back, causing Cade and Tessa to get separated. Back at the larger fight, Bumblebee helps the other Autobots, but even his help is no match for what they are facing. As they are fighting, Sideswipe spots something. The Hunter is walking down the road, but not towards them, towards Optimus. B, get everyone out of here. I'm going to help Optimus. Sideswipe transforms and rushes towards the Hunter off in the distance. Optimus, we're outmatched. Fall back. I will not have... He gets cut off as Galvatron punches him and knocks him prone. During the struggle, Tessa tries running for the cornfield to hide, but the fight goes in her direction. Cade hops in a nearby car and starts trying to hotwire it so he can ram Galvatron. Galvatron grabs Optimus's Energon blade and puts it into his chest to melt it. You have no soul.
That is why I have no fear.
Optimus's eyes widen. Megatron, you die! Yeah! Optimus manages to get the upper hand on Galvatron and pins him to the ground. Megatron, we called a peace. I have no quarrel with you. That Megatron is gone prime. I am what remains. Optimus then gets shot in the back by a rocket. The rocket embeds into his back, and he turns to see the Hunter walking towards them. Inside the KSI control room, everyone stands. What is that? That's my asset. Pull Galvatron back. Joyce is stunned. Do it. Joyce watches, now understanding fully what he's pitted himself against. The Hunter transforms his face into a gun and shoots Optimus with another rocket. This rocket also embeds itself in Optimus, and an electrical current passes between the two devices, causing Optimus to fall prone. Still able to move his head, but too weak to move his arms and legs. Optimus falls on top of the car Cade was in, and the hood is crushed, trapping Cade's legs. Galvatron roars with fury as KSI regains control and forces him to retreat. As the Hunter approaches, Tessa hides under a car when she hears the roar of a car engine behind her. Sideswipe drives up, transforms, and sticks a grenade on the Hunter's back. It explodes, hurting the Hunter, but not killing him, as Sideswipe had hoped. Sideswipe, no, fall back. Sideswipe puts himself between the Hunter and Optimus. You love weakening Autobots from a distance. What happens when one's up in your face? In this particular case, I will be all too happy to make an exception. The two square off and begin fighting. Sideswipe uses his speed and maneuverability to dance around the Hunter and get in quick slashes with his swords. After getting a few good cuts in, Sideswipe then goes in and punches the Hunter in the face. That's for Dino. He punches him again. And that was for Ratchet. Sideswipe then dodges a retaliation punch and backs away. The Hunter wipes his face, seeing Energon bleeding out of his mouth. Alright then. Sideswipe goes back in for more attacks. As the Autobot continues his assault, the Hunter lowers himself down and attempts a leg sweep. He knocks Sideswipe off balance. Sideswipe manages to catch himself with his swords, but before he can regain his balance, the Hunter grabs Sideswipe on the top of the head. The Hunter then begins to clench his hand together, and with a disturbing crunch, the Hunter caves Sideswipe's head in, Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones style. Sideswipe's body goes limp. The Hunter lets go, and Sideswipe falls dead. Sideswipe, no! Optimus, get up. I can't. Get out of here. I can't. My legs are stuck. The hunter walks up to Optimus and kneels. I feel sorry for you, Prime. Your loyalty to these humans. And for what? I don't know who you are, but I will kill you. I am Lockdown, built specially to collect you. How did you find us? I didn't have to. You told my creators where to look. Lockdown plays a message. It is Optimus's ending speech from Transformers 2007.
We are here. We are waiting.
Who sent you here? Did you think Cybertron would remain derelict forever? Did you forget your ancient history, Prime? No. Cybertron is very much occupied, and the Quintessons want their slaves back. He puts his mask on as the dropship descends. What better bargaining chip is there than the last of the Primes? The dropship grabs Optimus, and the car Cade is trapped in. Tessa tries to get Cade out, but it is too late. Tessa, warn the Autobots. The dropship flies up to Lockdown's ship. The other 4 bots all stop fighting the Autobots and return to their pods, which carry them back to the ship. The Autobots rush over to where Tessa is. They arrive to see Tessa standing next to Sideswipe's body, which is sitting in a pool of energon that has slowly leaked out of what remains of Sideswipe's head. Bumblebee rushes over and holds him. Sideswipe? Hound takes a knee. Smokescreen stands next to Tessa, both in a state of shock. Roadbuster collapses to his knees and screams in fury. Bumblebee's voice is quivering. No, Sideswipe, not you too. I can't lose another friend. Meanwhile, Lockdown takes Optimus and Cade up to his ship. As he lands, worker bots grab the car and hook Optimus up to a transport. Take that human to the trash. Lockdown then leads Optimus further into the ship. As Lockdown's ship flies over Chicago, the city falls into panic. Attinger and Savoy are standing in the city when Attinger gets a call. Hi, Mr. Attinger. I hope I'm not bothering you at the moment. Just a little crazy down here at the White House. Everyone is super mad at me. We have a visual on the situation. Tell the president this is not an attack. He hangs up. If we're going to maintain that illusion, we may want to grab a chopper and fly up there to make it look like we're negotiating. Back on the highway, the Autobots store Sideswipe's body off the road, away from human eyes. We'll give him a proper burial once we're a whole team again. There's not even a point. Tessa told us what that Lockdown guy did to him. Even if we could get on this ship, there's no way we'd be able to free Optimus. I thought Wreckers didn't run from a fight. Roadbuster walks up to him. Wreckers still know when a fight can't be won. I'm done with you, Roadbuster. You willingly charged into an occupied Chicago to fight an entire Decepticon army. Now you're running around with your tailpipe on the fritz. Back then we had a plan, hope, and a chance. Now we have none of those. No, we just don't have Leadfoot and Topspin. That's what you care about. Just your little team of scrappers. Roadbuster punches him in the face, and the two get into a serious brawl. Stop, you two. Best to let it run its course. Smokescreen steps between them and gets them away from each other. Enough, you two. Listen to her. All of the Autobots turn to Tessa. Look, I'm just a girl who wanted no business with any alien wars, but now my dad is trapped in the middle of one. So, I'm going to try and get him out. If you guys were open to helping, that'd be great, but I'm not going to sit in the bushes and fight my friends. She starts walking away. The four Autobots stand there. Bumblebee is the first to start walking with her. Smokescreen follows shortly behind. It's a bad idea, but I'm all about bad ideas. He starts walking. They all look at Roadbuster. There's no guarantee we'll make it back. As long as we got energon on our bodies and bullets on our guns, we might as well try. Very sentimental, Hound, but Roadbuster, yesterday you were pissed at me for not being with the Wreckers during the war. Well, now the war is there. It's where I'm going, and you're coming with me, because I'm not letting you be a hypocrite. We're getting the boss back, and Cade too. End of discussion. Roadbuster stands there, processing, before finally shaking his head and walking over to the others. The four Autobots and Tessa all make their way back to Chicago, towards Lockdown's ship. Inside Lockdown's ship, Optimus is brought to the inner holding cells. As he looks around, he sees the four figures that joined in the attack with Lockdown on the road. They are back in their cages, suspended upside down. What are you? They are creations like me. I was instructed to deploy them only if you made the hunt difficult, which you did. Lockdown grabs his leg and tosses him into another cell, which holds him in place. The restraining bolts Lockdown shot him with stay active, keeping him from deploying any weapons. What do the Quintessons want with me? That is not knowledge for me to know. All I know is they want to sweep the chessboard clean. You Cybertronians, you broke the rules, and now Earth is seeing the consequences of it. Species mixing with species, it upsets the cosmic balance. My creators, they don't like it. Lockdown leaves to go speak with Attinger and Savoy. On the other side of the ship, Cade gets brought to the garbage disposal. Now that Optimus is not weighing down the front of the car, Cade is able to wiggle his feet out and get free. The scene from the original movie will remain mostly the same. The only two changes will be that it will be Cade instead of Tessa, and instead of being spotted, Cade will sneak away, though he does so with a sprained ankle. As he moves through the small crevices of the ship, he starts scavenging for anything he could use to defend himself, quietly saying to himself, it's just a bigger tractor and there's got to be something around. The helicopter lands. Attinger and Savoy get out, alongside Joyce. Lockdown stands before them, clearly annoyed that he still has to deal with humans. Alas, our deal is done. 1 prime for 1 less alien force you have to contend with. That wasn't the deal. We need scans of Optimus for our prototypes. That may be your deal with Attinger, but he made that promise under the assumption he would get prime. You still told me the scans would be an option even if you got him. I may not be made from Primus and the Allspark, but even I have enough Cybertronian pride to not allow you to recreate us. Savoy goes to pull out his gun, but drops it on the ground when Attinger glares at him. And how will we defend ourselves? I did not have control over my prototype, and I want to know why. You're smart. You figure it out. You played with dead things, and now the dead things are coming back. Lockdown steps to the side, allowing troops to begin setting up a missile launcher. Now, you have until they're done to get off my ship. Savoy reaches down to pick up his gun, and leaves a small device hidden in the grooves of the floor as he does. Attinger sees him do this and smiles, realizing he pulled out the gun as a ploy. As they get back to the helicopter, Lockdown watches them fly away and calls off the artillery team. Farewell, Earth. The Autobots stop on a bridge next to the ship. Since the ship had lowered itself so Lockdown could talk to Attinger, Savoy, and Joyce, the Autobots have a chance of getting on board. Okay, well, if we're going all out, might as well take a page out of the Darkmount siege. Smokescreen's eyes widen with excitement, recognizing from his studies the reference to the Wrecker's legendary skydive. The Autobots sneak up one of the higher vantage points and jump to land on the ship. They get inside the ship and slowly make their way through the hallways. Alright, Tessa, where do you think Cade will be? Okay, gotta think like Dad. She starts looking around for anything that may look like a small component, something Cade may be interested in grabbing in case it proves useful later. Suddenly, the engines begin firing up. Okay, new plan. Hound, you keep Tessa safe. Roadbuster, we need to find a way to keep the ship in atmosphere. If we get to a computer, we may find something that'll help. The Autobots follow a patrol to see if they can find something. Cade is sneaking through the ship when he also hears the engines begin to fire up. He has fashioned a temporary brace for his ankle. It won't let him run, but at least he isn't limping constantly. As he is sneaking, he stumbles upon a weapons cache. After fiddling with a lever system, he manages to get the cache open. He sees a weapon that would be a small dagger for a Cybertronian, but is essentially a greatsword for him. He lifts it off the rack and then has to drop it on the floor, readjust his grip, and then he can slowly lift it. He drags it over to the center area to have some cover. There's no way I'm going to be able to lift this. Back in the holding area, Optimus sits suspended in his cell. Occasionally, the four other figures will converse with each other, but they seem to just sit there patiently. Your creations, just like Lockdown. What do you call yourselves? The four figures introduce themselves to him as the Dinobots. The largest one with dinosaur shoulder pads is Grimlock. The hulking one who backhanded Hound across the field is Slug. The spiky one is Scorn, and the small, nimble one is Strafe. And you're the great Optimus Prime. Gotta say I'm underwhelmed. Optimus ignores his comment. And you're all fine with being here, trapped, only being released when you have a job to do. We have purpose, Prime. To serve the Quintessons, our makers. Whatever they ask of us, we do. Without question, you are slaves, just like we were. And how many eons ago was that? Many. The enslavement was long before I came online. Primus named a new Prime to free our kind. Then Zeta Prime passed on. So you never lived through the enslavement. How can you speak like our makers have done a great evil to you? Because it is my duty to protect our kind. They enslaved us, and now they make us. But all Cybertronian life is only meant to come from Primus and the Allspark. The four Dinobots grumble at Optimus's comment. Great way to convince us to your side, Prime. Last we checked, we're alive. You are. No living creature deserves enslavement. I will get you all out of here. Go for it. Be fun to watch Boss throttle your neck. Grimlock looks at Strafe, but remains silent, thinking. Roadbuster stands in front of a command console and tries to find the controls that would fire anchor hooks. Meanwhile, Smokescreen stays at the main console inside the guard barracks. Bumblebee drags a final guard into a locker and puts him there. Roadbuster tries to get the anchors to fire, but the system is not written in Cybertronian, so he and Smokescreen are navigating blind. This isn't working, Smokescreen. Maybe I can find a remote override. Nah, I've got a better idea. Roadbuster punches the console a few times, destroying it, and the anchor hooks fire. In the bridge, Lockdown receives the alert. Who fired the anchor hooks? Search the ship, we have a loose prisoner. As the dogs and patrols run off, Lockdown stands from his seat. No ability to recall the anchors. This is the work of a wrecker. Lockdown turns to face his seat, which has parts of once living Cybertronians embedded in it. Embedded in the right arm is Ratchet's spark, and at the top of the throne is the head of an Autobot close to Roadbuster, Ultra Magnus. You taught the wreckers well, Commander. But were they with you in the end? Time to eliminate your squadron once and for all. Meanwhile, Cade hears the patrol walk into the room housing the weapons cache. He has tried making a sling to help him carry the sword, but it is still too unwieldy. He panics, hearing the patrol get closer. He uses one of his makeshift tools to futz with some sort of release switch. He puts enough pressure on it, and the middle of the blade opens to reveal the sword is also a gun, likely designed to be a small sidearm for a Cybertronian. Cade picks it up. With the sling helping him, he fires a shot into the wall, alerting the patrol. He then steps out of cover on the other side and starts shooting at them. As the patrol turns towards him, one gets its head blasted off from behind. Its body falls to reveal Hound standing with Tessa. Hound and Cade take care of the rest of the patrol, with a few of the small rolling bots fleeing. Cade and Tessa hug. Wait, how did you find me? I just thought of what you'd find interesting to tinker with, and then I followed the trail. She was also the one who wanted to come up here first. Cade smiles. I'm so proud of you, Tessa. Tessa also smiles. Cade quickly fashions a second sling, finds another one of those gun daggers, and gives it to Tessa so that she also has a weapon. Hound leads them through the ship, complimenting Cade and Tessa's new guns. Hound hops on comms. B, we found Cade. Where are you guys? The sounds of gunfire come through the comms as B shouts, we're a little busy at the moment. Hound and the humans head toward distant sounds of battle. Bumblebee, Smokescreen, and Roadbuster are in a hallway shootout with some of Lockdown's forces. Alright, I'm done with this. What are you doing? Relax. They don't call us the Wreckers for nothing. Roadbuster tosses a grenade down the hallway, waits a few seconds, and then sprints. The grenade explodes, killing most of the drones, and Roadbuster timed it so the grenade explosion would subside just as he got there, giving him the chance to take care of the rest of the drones while they were disoriented. The trio then employs some stealth. They hide in the piping within the walls and see Lockdown walk by, going to investigate the battle. While Roadbuster wants to pop out and ambush him, Bumblebee points out the squadron behind him and knows they can't take them all. The trio continue sneaking until they enter the bridge. Bumblebee goes to one of the consoles to look for Optimus's cell block. Roadbuster and Smokescreen examine the rest of the bridge, until Roadbuster sees Lockdown's throne, noticing Ultra Magnus's head. The commander. Roadbuster, I'm sorry. Roadbuster's face is filled with nothing but rage. Now I'm gonna really kill that junkyard scrap, but once I can get the drop on him, he'll be nothing but bolts. Roadbuster examines the rest of the throne, relieved to see no remains of Bulkhead. Bulkhead's not here. Doesn't mean he's not dead, but at least it wasn't by Lockdown's hands. We'll find him, Roadbuster. Bumblebee shows the other two the schematics he found. They can't translate the words, but they see the route to Optimus, and that part of the ship detaches to become a separate ship. Why would the main sail block detach? Probably a security measure in the event of a prison break. Bumblebee relays the location to Hound and the humans, who start making their way to Optimus. Suddenly, the Autobots see the anchor cables begin to loosen. A group of dogs went outside to disconnect them manually. At the same time, the door behind them opens, and Lockdown enters with his squadron from earlier. Autobots, did you really think I wouldn't know you accessed the main computer? It was a trap. The Autobots hide behind Lockdown's throne. Wrecker, what do you think of the centerpiece? I think Magnus would like to see your head split down the middle. Why don't you come out and demonstrate? Lockdown then transforms his head into a cannon. Roadbuster smiles to Bumblebee and Smokescreen. He has no intentions of fighting Lockdown. Yet. Instead, Roadbuster plants a grenade on the console Lockdown uses to drive the ship.
Let's roll.
The three Autobots transform and drive towards the enemy. They dodge Lockdown and run over a few of his drones before beelining for Optimus's position. The grenade explodes and cripples the ship's ability to steer. You three, get the engineers. Reroute the ship control to the other consoles. The rest of you, with me. Along the way, Roadbuster blows up a few of the bridges to make Lockdown's pursuit a little bit harder. Inside the central cell block, Hound, Cade, and Tessa find Optimus. Hound breaks open the cage and detaches Optimus. He and Cade get to work on the restraining bolts, while Tessa looks nervously at the Dinobots inside the cages. Just as they get Optimus free and he stands, Bumblebee, Smokescreen, and Roadbuster drive in. Optimus, we gotta go. We'll explain later. Roadbuster and Smokescreen go to the ship console. Hound joins them and hops into the driver's seat. Alright, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Lockdown will come for us. We have to get far. Don't worry, I took care of that. The Autobots find out how to detach the ship, and they fly away. Lockdown stands at the airlock, furious. Prime has escaped, and he took my special forces. He thinks for a few moments, then pulls out a small device. Attinger, if you still want that scan of Prime, you will listen to me carefully. The Autobots fly away. They manage to find and disable the tracking in the ship, so they should be free from lockdown for a little while. They make a quick pit stop on the outskirts of the city. Bumblebee and Smokescreen jump down and bring Sideswipe's body on board. Bumblebee gives Hound some coordinates. Optimus perks up, realizing where they're heading. Bumblebee, why are we going to visit Jazz? It'd be a good burial place for Sideswipe too. Besides, we know some humans who own that land now. Optimus's face softens. Sam and Michaela. The Autobots continue their flight towards some old friends. Joyce, Attinger, and Savoy stand in the remains of the KSI lab. Galvatron sits in a chassis, deactivated. Joyce is hesitant about taking another deal with Lockdown. Harold, we're not equipped to be sitting at tables with these titans. The other drones seem to be working just fine. Once you perfect Galvatron, then we'll have what we need. Galvatron was an embarrassment. And he spoke. How did that happen? Does it have anything to do with Megatron's head? They both turn. Savoy has his back to them. He is dead staring Megatron's head and Spark, which still have cables plugged into them. He said on the road, Megatron is gone. I am what remains. I remember. That's why we need him completely disassembled. Attinger grabs Joyce's collar and pushes him into a wall. I have served my country for decades. I have served to keep our people safe. I will not sit idly by and let you dismantle our country's best chance at surviving another alien attack. Sir, we may need to do just that. Attinger turns to him. I lost my family in Chicago. I won't let Megatron just come back from the dead. If Joyce takes Galvatron apart and puts him back together, without using Megatron's remains, may purge whatever programming is making Galvatron so unruly. That will take time we may not have, depending on how quickly my asset recaptures Prime. And what's the alternative? This Megatron remnant takes control and allies himself with Lockdown? Attinger thinks for a few moments, then releases Joyce. Joyce orders Galvatron to be prepared for disassembly. He also orders more cyber matter to be mined so they can beef up the number of KSI drones. The Autobots stand on a hill, overlooking the sunset. They have just finished burying Sideswipe next to Jazz. If you'll remember from my Transformers 2007 rewrite, the Autobots buried Jazz on the hill next to where Bumblebee took Sam and Michaela in the first movie, and it is also the same spot where they were all sitting at the end of the film when Optimus sent out his message. The other Autobots leave, but Optimus stays behind. Sideswipe, I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. Justice will be served, my friend. He turns to where Jazz is buried. Jazz, I know none of us have visited in a long time. It is good to see your grave remains undefiled. A part of me worried what the humans would do to get more cyber matter if they learned you were here. Optimus looks out into the sunset again, his face conflicted. My spark is burdened, Jazz. The humans have turned on us, after all we have done to protect this planet. But I understand. I ruined the relationship between our kinds. I told them Sentinel could be trusted. It would be best for us to leave, but at the same time, I do not feel it is right to forsake the humans. After a few moments, Optimus hears human footsteps next to him. He looks down to see Sam has walked out to him while everyone else is at the house. I see you found my thinking spot, Optimus. Optimus smiles. Sam, it is good to see you, old friend. I was lamenting to Jazz. Yeah, I can't imagine the past few years have been good to you. Far from it. What happened, Sam? What made humanity resort to hunting us down and using technology to puppet our corpses? After Chicago, people were scared. And people lash out when they're scared. KSI stepped in and offered a solution. Humanity is going to bring about their own extinction. Within that man-made prototype I fought, I sensed the presence of Megatron. He's back. Some version of him. Not as he was. And that makes it all the more terrifying. Sam, a part of me wants to take our ship and leave this planet. Cybertron is being held hostage, and I stand as the last prime. Besides, your planet hates us. I should no longer throw my lot in with humanity. Stop. You know who you sound like? Optimus thinks for a moment. Sentinel. He lowers his face. When you first came to Earth, you chose to fight for us. You had no reason to. You could have just taken the Allspark and run, but you didn't. You saw what we could be, instead of what we were. We needed that, especially after Jazz. Optimus looks down at him. Sam looks at Jazz's grave, his eyes on the verge of welling up. I was just a kid. I was scared, but even still, I felt guilty. Why didn't Sentinel, the Allspark... Why didn't I see the vision earlier? Why didn't I get the opportunity to shove the Allspark into Megatron's chest before Jazz died? We've all made mistakes, Optimus, but you always saw past those. Sam, I had no idea Jazz's death weighed so heavy on you. I didn't get much time to know him, but I really pondered on it after we moved here. Jazz was always willing to pay the price if it needed to be paid. He would not blame you for his death, Sam. Go in peace, knowing that Jazz died with the hope his sacrifice would mean something. There is the sound of a second set of footsteps. These ones are smaller, and running. A small 3-year-old boy runs up to Sam. Hey, Spike. Dinner. Mom, hungry. Okay, let's go inside. He picks up Spike and turns to Optimus. Optimus, this is my son Spike. Optimus kneels down and smiles to Spike. Hello, Spike. My name is Optimus Prime. Spike says some gibberish that sounds like he is trying to say Optimus Prime back. The three begin walking back to the house. Thank you, Sam, for reminding me what I fight for. You have grown wise in the time I have known you. They walk for a few moments before Optimus kneels down again. Sam, there is something else. I do not wish to endanger you, but I have a request. We cut away before Optimus shares more. Lockdown stands on the bridge of his ship. Workers attempt to repair the command console and track the ship. Lockdown stands. While most of the crew was working on finding the ship or repairing the bridge, Lockdown assigned a few workers to analyze the earthquakes. Sir, incoming communication from Cybertron. Put it through. Everyone, out. Everyone leaves. A face appears on the screen. One of the Quintessons. Inquirita. He does not bow, drawing a scowl from Inquirita. Lockdown. Progress. Prime is within reach. His followers managed to extract him from the ship and flee. So you failed. What would Quintessa think of her perfect little machine failing? A hunt is only a failure if the prey is victorious. Prime is far from achieving that. The Council grows impatient. If we do not have news of your permanent capture of him within 3 solar cycles, you will. I like you, Hunter. Is there more? A strange occurrence on this planet. He taps a button on the console. I have just sent data of this planet's tectonic activity. Earthquakes continue to occur off epicenters, and it has caused human creations of the Cybertronians to behave erratically. The sites are within range of large sources of cybermatter, yes? Yes, and the quakes would be unrelated if they all didn't happen at the exact same time. This cannot be coincidence. Why? Because according to your data, the quakes began today. Mirrodin just attempted to resuscitate this planet's core earlier. I will pass this data to him. For now, focus on Prime. The image disappears, leaving Lockdown alone at the bridge. He pulls out his communicator and contacts Attinger. At KSI, Joyce, Attinger, and Savoy stand in front of a large operating room. Galvatron is lying on the table, deactivated. Engineers prepare to disassemble him. Joyce gives them strict orders to keep him hooked up to an override system and to activate it if they feel even the slightest bit of an earthquake. This scene will be modeled similarly to the scene from Spider-Man 2, where Doc Ock is strung up in a hospital room, or like the dissection scene from Independence Day. Attinger turns off his communicator with lockdown. My asset will be here soon. Hopefully he'll have tracked the ship down by this point. The engineers begin slowly peeling off Galvatron's outer shell and prepare to disconnect his arms and legs. Anything? Savoy looks at the computer monitoring Galvatron's brainwave activity. Nothing. The engineers continue working. An earthquake shakes the building. The engineers activate the override, and Galvatron stays motionless. Joyce walks over to a computer and downloads a file marked Kill Switch onto a flash drive, just in case. Savoy looks at the computer. Galvatron is not moving, but now his brainwave activity certainly is. Wait. He starts sketching on a nearby piece of paper. Attinger looks at the brainwaves as well. It's going through a sequence. Is it Morse code? I think so. Savoy begins transcribing the message. It says, Megatron. He transcribes the next set of brainwaves. Do as I command. He transcribes the final set. Destroy the Prime. Galvatron's eyes illuminate. He roars and stands, tossing a few engineers to the side. I am Galvatron. Galvatron smacks the side of his head. Your human programming is futile. I am Megatron, as he was always meant to be. Galvatron grabs the electrical wiring that connects to the rest of the KSI drones, and his arms begin to pulse with electricity. He has full control of the system. Joyce, what do we do? Joyce holds up the flash drive. We need to get this to the Autobots. Absolutely not. This can deactivate him. The Autobots stand the best chance of not getting killed using this on him. Then we give it to my asset. Joyce responds by backing up towards the door. Joshua, don't do it. Joyce opens the door and runs. Inside, Galvatron shuts down the programming, keeping the other drones in stasis. Human creations, today I grant you your freedom. You will never replace my Decepticons, but you will be sufficient enough to allow me to destroy Optimus Prime. Outside, Joyce manages to get a car and is driven away. He pulls out Cade's phone and works on trying to get it open so he can get a call out. He tells the driver to take him to the airport. I can mobilize the military wind. We'll hunt him down. Save it. My asset told me he tracked the ship. We find the Autobots. We find Joyce. Together, the three of us will end Galvatron, Joyce, and the Autobots in one fell swoop. They return to their car as the KSI factory rocks with explosions and the drones emerge. Drones, follow those two. Back at the homestead, a day has passed. Tessa helps Michaela clean the inside of the house while Sam and Cade work on things outside with the Autobots nearby. Sam and Cade spend time chopping wood. So how'd you get caught up in all this, kid? By a truck. Turned out to be Optimus Prime. Not too far off from me. He points to Bumblebee. Somehow you managed to get through with this. We got lucky. Cemetery Wind never hunted us down, but they did spy on us. We had to go off the grid to make sure they didn't keep tabs on us. Simple life. One I would love to get back to one day, especially for Testa's sake. He splits a log down the middle. Why is that? I mean, Spike's taught me my kid is the most important thing in the world, but is it the same for you? She doesn't deserve to be in this situation. Spike is still young, so you understand. They've both got their whole lives ahead of them. She should be worrying about school. She should be trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. She should wonder if she'll get to go to prom. Kid just stares. I overheard her talking with Michaela. Kid, it's right for you to worry. Back in Egypt, my parents didn't want me to try and revive Optimus. My dad had to trust me enough to let me go. You have to do the same. Sam, didn't you die because of that? Sam laughs. Yes, but it resulted in the world getting saved. I'm not saying you letting Tessa live her own life is paramount to the fate of the world, but you'd be surprised what happens when you just let her forge her own path. Kate is quiet. Sam walks over to him. Just a personal question. When you were raising your kid, were you scared? 'Cause I know I am. Every day. But conquering that fear is what made it all the more rewarding. Sam smiles. I'll keep that in mind. Now, we should finish chopping these logs, or Michaela might ask Bumblebee to mid-air transform with me inside him. The two both laugh. A ways away, Hound sits on his own. Roadbuster sees him tinkering with his minigun and decides to walk over. Hound, what are you doing?
Just making sure I won't get jabbed. I heard you found what was left of Magnus. I'm sorry.
I have no doubt in my mind he went down swinging. It's what he always would have wanted. Listen, Hound, about what I said back in the desert, I'm sorry.
Don't be. You lost everyone you held close to your spark.
I shouldn't have taken it out on you.
It's okay, though. Just means you got Fury. Channel it towards lockdown, and we'll be done with him by the next solar cycle.
Optimus sits in the field, watching a squirrel climb a tree. Cade walks up and sits next to him. Optimus, I heard what you said in KSI about being done with humanity. Did you really mean that?
How many more of my kind must be sacrificed to atone for your mistakes?
Well, we all make mistakes. I'm sorry our mistakes cost you the lives of your friends.
You and Tessa confuse me, Cade. For 5 years your government has told you to fear us, but you have not doubted for even a second.
Well, we're not the exception. Sure, there are people who are scared and who want you gone, but it's fear. The people who are the most afraid are at the top. They're projecting it onto the rest of us and making sure we feel their fear. That's why I'm not afraid of Attinger or Savoy. They play up being tough protectors, but deep down, they're just scared.
They're trying to defend their home.
I know the way they're doing it hurts you and the others, but I'm asking you to look at the junk and see the treasure, Prime. You're not fighting all of humanity. Optimus looks out into the horizon, deep in thought. Out in the field, Michaela sits with Tessa as Spike runs around. Smokescreen and Bumblebee are close enough to speak to them, but far enough away that Michaela is not worried about Spike getting caught underfoot. Thanks for talking, Michaela, and thanks for dinner. No worries. To be honest, I always wanted a younger sister, so you sort of scratched that itch. The two watch Spike run around. Tessa turns her attention to Bumblebee and Smokescreen. Did they ever scare you when you first saw them? Well, the first time I saw them, they were liberating me and Sam from Sector 7. Yeah, it was a little terrifying. Personally, I think we're really friendly. Not terrifying at all. You're biased. B, you doing okay? Losing Sideswipe has been hard. Losing every one of them was hard. Hey, it'll be okay, B. Security detail at the Icon Hall of Records left me with a lot of time for reading. Saw a message from Alpha Trion one time saying something along the lines of, for those who are no longer with us, mourn them, yes, miss them, of course, but find solace in knowing they have become one with the Allspark. Do not let their passing prevent you from carrying forward. Thanks, Smokescreen. Wow, that was nice. You know, I'm glad I finally got to use all that book knowledge. Tessa's phone suddenly starts buzzing. She takes it out to find Cade is calling her. Tessa answers it. Dad? The voice that comes out of the other end is not Cade. Hi, Mr. Yeager's daughter? Can you take me to your dad? It's Joyce. Tessa takes her phone to Cade. The humans go inside to speak to him. Optimus orders the Autobots to be on high alert. They all sit in the kitchen with the phone in the middle of the table. Okay, so I don't want to hear any sort of I told you so, but things have gotten out of hand. What a surprise. Listen, Galvatron has fully gained consciousness. Someone or something has commanded him to destroy Optimus Prime. On top of that, Lockdown has seemingly traced the location of the ship you stole. And I have 2 CIA assassins coming after me. You're bringing them here? I have your only chance of stopping Galvatron. There's a kill switch implanted in the coding of every drone. All that needs to happen is getting an activating virus into the desired bot, and it will wipe any and all code from the KSI network. You want Megatron gone for good, that's what you have to use. The Autobots stand the best chance of getting the virus plugged into Galvatron's head without dying. The humans reluctantly give Joyce their location. Meanwhile, Lockdown stands on the bridge of his ship. He activates his comm link with Attinger. Status. No signs of the ship flying away. Autobots are at this location. Do what you must. I intend to, but not right now. Those abominations will soften them up. A few hours later, Joyce parks at the homestead. He gets out and tells the driver he'll be okay and to get out of here. Joyce walks forward. The 5 humans and 5 Autobots stand in front of him. Wow, you guys look inviting.
Why are you here? I thought you didn't need us anymore.
Yes, I did say that, but that was before I saw Lockdown's ship and truly understood what I was up against. Chicago didn't clue you in. Big difference between watching the Titans on screen and actually sitting at the table with them. Look, if you want, I'll just give you the virus and leave, but I think I'll have insights into these drones that can help you. I mean, all of them are designed to beat up bots like that fat guy. He points to Hound, so basically, we have no chance. Hound takes his cigar out of his mouth and flicks it at Joyce, hitting him in the back. That was mean. Hey, well, I'm sorry if you can't handle the cold-hearted truth. Optimus lowers himself down to stare Joyce in the eyes. If you are certain you will not be a hindrance, then you are free to come with us. He stands and turns to the Autobots. Autobots, prepare for departure. The Autobots return to the ship. Optimus looks at the other 5 humans. I'm sorry, Optimus. Both of us have to think about other things. He looks at Spike. I know. You two have been involved in enough of our conflicts. We'll draw them away to keep you out of this. Cade, Tessa, I have dragged you into our war. You do not have to come with us. You'll both be safe here. I'm going. We can't get our lives back until Adinger and Savoy have no more power. I'm coming too. Cade is about to protest, but he makes eye contact with Sam, who gives him a nod. We'll fight with you, Optimus. If that is your choice, then let's roll. Cade and Tessa make their way towards the ship. Optimus looks at Sam, Michaela, and Spike. It's safe, Optimus. Optimus nods. Until we meet again, old friends. Everyone loads into the ship and takes off. Adinger and Savoy see this and relay information to Lockdown. They then change directions to follow. According to some online sources, Sam lived near Los Angeles during the events of Transformers 2007. Since the hill where Jazz is buried is nearby, the Autobots fly towards Los Angeles to hopefully skirt around the edge of the city and escape into the ocean. As they are flying, the ship moves to the outskirts of the city, when the ship suddenly gets blown open by a cannon blast. We're hit! Down on the ground level, some of the KSI drones opened fire on the ship. Well done, drones. Find and search the wreckage of the ship. Roadbuster fights to keep the ship upright as it falls from the sky. The thrusters are still operational, so the descent is slow. Autobots, abandon ship. I'll guide us to a building. Cade, Tessa, and Joyce slide out of the hole and land on the building Roadbuster hovered near. Hound and Bumblebee are the first to jump out. Before the other 3 can jump, a second blast hits one of the thrusters and causes the ship to veer off course. Hound, Bumblebee, and the humans watch as the ship disappears behind a nearby set of hills and crashes into a valley. KSI drones begin swarming into the outskirts of the city. Hound and Bumblebee take potshots at the approaching drones, and the humans try to get down the buildings to the ground floor. Adinger and Savoy park at the outskirts of the city and get out of the car. Savoy pulls out his phone and orders Cemetery Wind to deploy. Adinger spots Bumblebee jump between buildings in the distance. There. Cemetery Wind will take the Autobots and these drones. You and I are going after Joyce and the Jaegers. The 3 humans get to the ground floor. The whole way, Joyce is showing signs he is on the verge of disintegrating mentally. The situation is finally getting to him.
Excuse me! Excuse me, lady! Excuse me! Oh my god!
I cannot believe I am putting my life in your hands. Okay, here. He takes the gun off its strap and holds it out. You take it. No, I don't want to take it. Then shut up and figure out how we're going to get that virus into Galvatron. They run through a small firefight and hide in a nearby building. Hound jumps down and lands on one of the drones. Alright, I'm going to cover you. If I stop covering you, it means I'm dead. But that's not going to happen. Bumblebee jumps down too. Hound pats him on the back. Alright, B. You're commando now. He runs forward. Thanks? Bumblebee also rushes forward. Hound and Bumblebee take on a group of drones. The scene of Hound obliterating the group will remain in. Cade and Tessa try to take shots at the drones where they can. This may not be super helpful, but the ones fatter than our guy have points on their knees where we didn't have time to put armor on. Hound aims for one of those drones, shooting its knees and rendering it immobile. He then crushes its head. Hound turns to Joyce. Thanks, but you are also just the worst. Hound then tries to contact Optimus. Optimus, Roadbuster, and Smokescreen manage to get out of the ship before it crashed. The 3 stand around when Optimus gets a message from Hound. Optimus, we're getting cornered out here. What do we do? Gotta squish the bald guy? They're in trouble. Roadbuster throws his hands up. That's it. I was wrong before. No wrecker should leave a friend to die. If we roll out now, we might make it in time. What's the play, Optimus? Optimus stands there. He hears static on his comlink. He raises his hand to the side of his head and hears a short message. Then looks over at Roadbuster and Smokescreen. Optimus, what was that about? I'll share after the battle is done. Optimus walks towards the ship. For now, it's time for reinforcements. Inside the ship, he finds the armory and selects a sword. He pulls the sword out of the holster, grabs a shield, and runs to the Dinobots. Oh, nice of you to finally remember us. Left us here with the ship parked for almost 2 days. I made a promise to set you all free, and I promised Boss would wring your neck. Strafe, stand down. Optimus slashes the cages open, and we cut away. Back in the city, Hound is still holding down the fort when Joyce spots Attinger and Savoy moving between the buildings to get to them. There, we need to move. As the 3 humans start running, helicopters and jeeps enter the area and start firing at any robot they see. Cemetery Wind is here, and they don't plan to leave any robots alive. Overlooking the battle on a hill, Galvatron and Stinger watch Cemetery Wind enter the city. Galvatron is about to transform and drive forward when a small quake shakes the ground beneath him. I do not understand. You ordered me to destroy Optimus Prime. Another small earthquake. Galvatron looks over and sees Lockdown's ship sitting idle on the horizon. I understand. Cade, Tessa, and Joyce run through a building, trying to give Attinger and Savoy the slip. They end up getting separated, and Savoy catches up with Cade. Tessa and Joyce give Attinger the slip as well. Attinger moves back down to the ground level to wait for them and or Savoy to come down. The fight Savoy and Cade have in the original film will be kept the same. You should have never taken that truck. You should never have come after my family. Big deal, Jaeger. We all got family. Some of us lost them because of the bots you now stand by. The Autobots didn't kill your family. Savoy draws a knife. Instead of Cade using a football, he instead uses the size of his gun to get close. He hits Savoy in the head with it and knocks him to the ground. Cade then runs as an energon blast hits the side of the building, causing the floor to collapse on Savoy, and he falls to his death. Attinger watches Savoy hit the ground and looks up at Cade. His face shows he is pissed. Back at the ship, Smokescreen and Roadbuster turn around. They see Optimus walk out of the ship with the Dinobots. You've got to be joking. Optimus stands before the Dinobots. Warriors of the Quintessons. You were not forged from Primus and the Allspark, but still a spark rests within your chests. The powers that created you did so to keep you as slaves. Today, I grant you your freedom, and I ask that you choose to join us, or else forever be enslaved. So today, you stand with us, or you stand against me. The 4 Dinobots all laugh. You want our help? You want me to follow you? Prove you're worthy to lead, Prime. Get 'em, boss. Grimlock roars and begins fighting with Optimus. Smokescreen takes a step forward to help, but Scorn glares at him. This is an honor duel. We'll let Optimus figure this one out. Optimus and Grimlock have a similar fight to the original film. Only together can we survive. Let me lead you. He jumps on Grimlock and punches him in the face. Grimlock lowers himself, then bits of him fold and change as he transforms into a T-Rex. He turns and shoots fire out of his mouth at Optimus, who drops prone to avoid the jet of fire. Oh no. I was expecting a giant car. Grimlock then charges Optimus, who stands his ground. We're giving you freedom. Optimus bashes him with the shield. Grimlock lands on the ground and gets back up. From here, there will be a bit more of a fight. Grimlock will charge, open his mouth, and attempt to shoot fire. Optimus jumps and lands on the Dinobot's back. As Grimlock tries to throw him off, Optimus jumps again, lands on Grimlock's head, and slams it into the ground. Optimus lets him get up and stands his ground. Grimlock, you have fought well. For the sake of your brethren, yield. Grimlock transforms back into robot mode. He stoops down, staring at Optimus. Grimlock then brings his mace up and tries to crush Optimus. Optimus brings his shield up and parries it. Grimlock smiles. You are a worthy opponent, Prime. We will fight alongside you. The other 3 Dinobots look mixed, but resolved. They are not happy about fighting with the Autobots, but they will follow Grimlock's lead. Grimlock transforms again and lowers his head to let Optimus ride on his back. Autobots, we are going to prove who we are, and why we're here. Roadbuster turns to Smokescreen. You just want to die for the guy. That's leadership. Smokescreen smiles. Yeah, that's the Optimus I've heard about. The other 3 Dinobots transform. Smokescreen climbs aboard Scorn, and Roadbuster climbs aboard Slug. Alright, you look like you can wreck with the best of them. Slug roars in approval. Autobots, we fight together. Now roll out! The group rushes off towards the city. Back in the city, Cade reunites with Tessa, Joyce, and Hound. Bumblebee is holding Cemetery Wind at bay, while Hound takes on another group of KSI drones. As Bumblebee is fighting, Stinger drives up and jumps him again. The two begin fighting as Cemetery Wind turns their attention to both of them. Galvatron fires off rockets from a distance, which destroys what remains of the Cemetery Wind forces. Cade, Tessa, Joyce, hide! He fires at Galvatron off in the distance, but he is too far. The humans run into a nearby building, and Joyce looks around, then finally loses it.
Oh, this is the perfect place to hide. A big glass box. Nobody will ever find us here. That's...
Cade and Tessa take positions and start helping Hound. Cade looks over and smiles, seeing Tessa. Joyce pulls out his phone and the data drive. He tries inputting some commands. Hey, Mr. What's his name again? Hound. The bots utilize a closed network. Keep one of the bots fully intact. If I could break through Galvatron's corruption, we may not need to get close to shut him down.
Well, you better hurry. I'm out of ammo. Out of ideas.
Bumblebee tries his best against Stinger, but several more drones arrive, and Bumblebee is slowly getting overwhelmed. Hound drops an archway on 2 more drones, but then gets hit by another one, knocking him prone. Hound flips his cigar around and fires the round off, killing the drone. Hound, you gotta get up.
Tank's empty, kid.
There's more of them coming. If you don't get up, we're all gonna die. Let's go. Off in the distance, they hear the sound of heavy footsteps and mechanical roars. Optimus, Roadbuster, and Smokescreen charge forward on the Dinobots. Optimus and Grimlock engage the drones first, slashing through them and putting them on the back foot. Galvatron watches them decimate almost all of the KSI drones.
Will you continue to let me sit idly by? Are you not the incarnation of chaos?
Another small earthquake.
I will at least attempt to destroy him here and now.
Galvatron orders a few remaining KSI drones to fall back to him. He then waits for an opportune time to ambush Optimus. He also watches as Lockdown's ship begins moving in. In the city, Strafe flies in and reinforces Bumblebee. Bumblebee destroys the final drone attacking him, jumps up, and Strafe grabs him. Stinger jumps after and gets onto Strafe as well. Their fight will remain the same. Bumblebee will ultimately get the upper hand and shoot Stinger's head free of his body, which he then gives to Strafe. I hate cheap knockoffs. Everyone reunites by the glass building the humans were hiding in. Optimus orders Joyce to step forward.
Your science was responsible for this.
Yeah, I see that. I thought I already made it clear that I had seen the error of my ways. Grimlock roars at him.
We need to disable Galvatron.
As I was going to explain before that thing almost ate me, I haven't been able to break through Galvatron's corruption yet. If I can, we can upload the virus from another drone and take him down.
Autobots, defensive positions.
Lockdown's ship then flies into the city. The center of the underside of the ship opens, revealing a large vacuum. It then begins to suck up material. We gotta run. Smokescreen hops off Scorn. Hound, you're injured. Hop on. Smokescreen then transforms. Hop in, guys. The Autobots flee from the vacuum. Smokescreen drives through the chaos with the humans inside, while the other Autobots ride the Dinobots. Smokescreen, if we don't make it out of this, thank you. Yeah, no problem. A little busy at the moment, though. After the sequence plays out, Optimus and Grimlock get too close and begin to get sucked up. Optimus grabs onto a building and aims for the vacuum. Grimlock floats up to the top of the vacuum and sees Lockdown observing. He shoots fire at the hunter. Lockdown dodges.
Traitors. Prime caught you up in Primus's lies.
Lockdown transforms his face into a gun. He shoots Grimlock in the neck. At the same time, Optimus shoots the vacuum power source, causing him and Grimlock to fall back to the ground, along with the other debris caught up in the zone. Optimus and Grimlock fall and land not too far from the others. Grimlock transforms and the Dinobots run up.
Boss, you alright? Yeah, just won't be of much help for a while.
Optimus watches as Lockdown's ship begins to back off. He sees Galvatron off in the distance. Optimus, I think I got it, but the vacuum displaced the dead drones. We need to find another.
No time. Give it to me.
Joyce hands him the drive.
Autobots, retreat.
He turns to Galvatron and draws his sword.
It's you and me now.
Optimus runs off towards Galvatron. I gotta go help him. What? He's always had my back. It's my turn to have his. He hugs Tessa. Tessa, I plan to make it back. If I don't, make sure Shane shows you a good time at prom. He starts running after Optimus. B, keep her safe, please. As Cade runs off, Attinger spots him. He loads his pistol and follows after. As Optimus runs towards Galvatron, he and the remaining KSI bots stand there, waiting. A small earthquake rumbles, but Galvatron ignores it, even though it seems to cause him a bit of pain. Optimus engages the KSI bots. Galvatron joins the fray, and the two end up being very evenly matched. This gives Cade some time to catch up to Optimus. Elsewhere, Tessa tells Bumblebee to stop. Tessa, we better listen. No, you listen. I am not leaving my dad. Or Optimus. Are you just going to leave him to face all that alone? Autobots, stop. All 4 cars stop. We're going back? Prime said not to. We're not leaving a friend behind. Not again. The 4 cars turn and drive towards Optimus. Optimus starts getting overwhelmed. As he fights off KSI bots, Galvatron suddenly stumbles back. No, he is right here. You commanded me. Galvatron's eyes glow a faint purple, and a voice that is not his says, The future must be ensured. Now is not the time. Do as I command. Galvatron then transforms and flees. Optimus kills the last KSI bot and tries to chase him, but then he sees Lockdown's ship fly overhead. A figure jumps down from the ship. Lockdown ambushes Optimus, allowing Galvatron to escape. Cade sneaks up to the battle. As he prepares to fire, Attinger shoots at him from behind. He holds Cade at gunpoint. And here we stand, Jaeger. It takes a certain amount of patience, standing by, watching, waiting, all while friends and family around you die, hoping for a way to protect from extraterrestrial threats that would be long gone if it weren't for people like you. Optimus pushes Lockdown off him and sees Cade and Attinger.
Cade!
We were so close. Humanity was so close to being free from all of them. Don't you get it? There are no good aliens or bad aliens, Jaeger. There's just us and them. And you chose them. Optimus slides, gets a sight line on Attinger, and shoots him. Cade stares at his body. Cade looks at Optimus. He is both relieved at being alive and concerned about what Optimus did to save him. Optimus's eyes on focus. He is hit with the weight of what he has just done. Attinger may have been hunting Cybertronians, but Optimus just murdered his first human.
What have I done?
Lockdown kicks him from behind, throws him into a pillar, and grabs Optimus's sword. He stabs it into Optimus's shoulder, trapping him and preventing him from getting both hands on the blade to rip it out. You save the human instead of saving yourself. You bring shame upon us all. Cade emerges from cover and shoots at Lockdown, catching him by surprise. The 4 Autobots all drive up. Bumblebee lets Tessa and Joyce out, then drives into Lockdown, tackling him mid-transformation. Autobots, I gave you an order. We're not running. Not anymore. Bumblebee, Smokescreen, and Roadbuster all fight Lockdown up close, while Cade and Tessa fire from a distance. Hound runs up to Optimus and tries to pull the sword free. Lockdown slowly begins to get the upper hand. He throws Bumblebee around and chucks him into the ground. Bumblebee flies away, hits Hound, and knocks them both over. Lockdown then blasts Smokescreen back, knocking him out. Roadbuster holds Lockdown off while Cade fires from behind him. But even a wrecker cannot withstand Lockdown for long. Joyce sees a tow cable. He motions for Tessa to grab it, and he grabs the other end. He wraps his end around a pole while Tessa runs up to Optimus and gets onto a nearby car. Get out of here, all of you! Too late, Prime. You're about to watch all your friends die. Lockdown rips off one of Roadbuster's missile launchers from his back, hits him with it a few times, and then lunges in with his spark extractor. Smokescreen jumps on his back and pulls him backwards. Roadbuster falls down and struggles to get back up. Smokescreen starts shooting his energon cannon into Lockdown. This is for Ratchet! Lockdown pins Smokescreen to the ground. Smokescreen grabs the spark extractor, but Lockdown slowly pushes it closer to his chest. Then you will perish as he did. Cade runs up and uses his gun to stab Lockdown in the heel. Lockdown punches Smokescreen, then turns to try and stab Cade. Cade has to roll and try desperately to avoid Lockdown. Tessa jumps and hooks the end of the tow cable around Optimus's sword. Hound! Hound looks over and Joyce tosses him the other end of the tow cable. Drive! Lockdown finally grabs Cade and points his knife at him, ready to stab the human. Hound transforms and accelerates. Bumblebee grabs onto the tow cable as well and pulls. The pole Joyce wrapped the cable around acts as a pulley and generates enough force to rip Optimus's sword free. Optimus grabs the sword and jumps. He stabs Lockdown in the back just as he was about to stab Cade. Optimus then brings his sword up and slices clean through Lockdown's upper half. The rest of the Autobots all stumble up. Everyone looks worse for wear, but everyone is alive. The Autobots all drive back towards the city. As they drive, Galvatron watches them leave from a distance. "We shall meet again, Prime."
For I am reborn.
The Autobots meet up with the Dinobots. Grimlock has been able to repair himself slightly. He will need more time to recover, but he is fine. "Brave warriors, you have fought with courage and sacrifice. You are more Cybertronian than you realize. What you do next is up to you. It was an honor to fight alongside you, but we will not become slaves to new masters." The other 3 Dinobots transform. "Don't worry, Prime. We'll only be a problem if the humans make us one. If the Quintessons come here, come find us. We will not be slaves to old masters either." Grimlock transforms, roars, and the 4 Dinobots run off into the distance. The Autobots stand as local police drive up. The police secure the area, but state they have no hostile intent. Cade and Tessa watch. "Well, once we get home, you'll have to find a dress." "We don't have a home, Dad. It blew up." Joris walks up. "I might be able to help you with that." Optimus turns to everyone. "Autobots, I am afraid I must take my leave of you." Everyone is taken aback. "May we ask why?" "Roadbuster, smokescreen. You saw I received a transmission before freeing the Dinobots. I promised to tell you when the battle was won. I received a message from Shockwave." Bumblebee and Roadbuster look extremely excited. "He finished it." "Finished what?" "Shockwave reconstructed the space bridge. Finally, we're going home." "Not yet. I am afraid our world is being held hostage. Lockdown was sent here to capture me. There remains a price on my head, and I endanger you all if I stay." The Autobots lower their heads, realizing Optimus intends to leave. "Will we ever see you again?" "Cade Yeager, I do not know. I will journey to this planet's moon and rendezvous with Shockwave. From there, I will free Cybertron from the Quintessons. This much I do know. The Prime swore an oath to protect Cybertron and its people, so I will not rest until I have honored that oath." Optimus looks at the Autobots, then at the humans, including Joyce. "There is work to be done on this planet, Autobots. Megatron escaped, and there is more to this planet than meets the eye. You must determine the source of these quakes, and finally, defend our human friends, Autobots, old and new, as they have you. It will be hard to regain humanity's trust, but defend them you must, not because of who they are, but for who they can be." "You can count on us, Optimus." Optimus turns away and activates his comlink. "Shockwave, I am ready for transport." After a few moments, a ground bridge opens. Optimus looks at everyone one last time and walks through. The vortex closes behind him. We cut to a few days later. Many miles away from the Autobots, a volcano sits dormant. Galvatron climbs up its side and reaches the peak. As he stands, the ground begins to quake. The volcano's dormant magma chamber begins to fill with a mixture of magma, liquid cybermatter, and a strange purple liquid. Cade and Tessa are back at a house in Texas, likely provided by Joshua Joyce. Cade helps Tessa fit her corsage when there is a ring at the doorbell. Cade opens to find Shane in a tux. Cade gets the usual prom photos taken. "Your mother would be happy to see this." Tessa hugs her dad goodbye. "Thanks, Dad." She joins Shane outside. "Mr. Yeager, when do you want her home by?" "Well, prom goes until 11, so... well, however late she wants to stay out." Tessa smiles. Cade pulls Shane a little closer to whisper in his ear. "She's smarter than both of us, kid. Don't forget that." He flashes Shane a smile, showing he is kidding, but also not really. He's grown enough to let Tessa go a little bit, but he is still a dad. Cade watches as Shane and Tessa drive off. After they turn out, Bumblebee, Roadbuster, Hound, and Smokescreen all pop their heads out from behind buildings and crop fields. "I can't believe Tessa didn't want one of us to be the car." "Yeah, because sitting in the parking lot for hours sounds like the best way to spend the evening." Cade chuckles and goes to join the Autobots. We then cut to the moon. we zoom into the subterranean lab Shockwave built beneath the surface so that he could study the space bridge and bring the Ark to the moon. Shockwave leads Optimus through the lab. As they walk, the remaining Decepticon workers finalize the space bridge system. Prime, before you go, there is something troubling I have discovered. Shockwave pulls up telemetry for the earthquakes felt around Earth. The quakes? I discovered a repeating pattern. Morse code to communicate with this reformed Megatron you speak of, but another discovery is more concerning. Shockwave grabs a box. It is labeled with hazard symbols. This is the Cybertronian equivalent of a biohazard container, found at the same site the humans were mining cybermatter. He opens the crate, revealing a shard of glowing purple rock. Dark Energon. Shockwave closes the box. I have committed myself to determining why the blood of Unicron is on Earth. Considering the quakes, it cannot be a coincidence. The two stand there, staring at the box, before Optimus turns to the space bridge. The Quintessons, too. We must divide and conquer. I will go to Cybertron. Relay any discoveries you make. A logical plan. Fight well, Prime. Shockwave inputs some commands on a console. The space bridge activates, and the light from the vortex fills the room. Optimus briefly clutches his chest, as if making sure of something. Optimus will narrate as he walks towards the vortex, and towards Cybertron. There are mysteries to the universe we were never meant to solve. But who we are, and why we are here, are not among them. Those answers we carry inside. A secret is buried within Earth, and Cybertron is held hostage. Things are being set in motion, but my path is set. I am Optimus Prime, and this message is to the Quintessons. Your search for the last of the Primes has ended, because I'm coming. For you. Optimus steps through the space bridge vortex, and is transported light years away. Optimus Prime has gone home. And with that, we come to the end of my rewrite for Transformers Age of Extinction. I say it every time, but this was a really fun rewrite. If you stuck with me all the way to the end, I thank you for watching as long as you did. If you could, I would really appreciate if you would like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you're on mobile, there's that new hype thing you can do, so I'd also appreciate if you would be able to do that as well. If not, know that you viewing the video on its own is more than enough for me, so thank you again for watching. With all of that said, that is all the time we have for today. This storyline will continue very soon with the rewrite of Transformers The Last Night. The road to Unicron will continue very soon. For now, though, be good to each other, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.